What we just witnessed in this season of college football is one of the most insane, improbable things to happen in all of sports. The Indiana Hoosiers are football champions. Let's talk about it. Welcome back into High-Fiving Strangers. My name is Clint, and today we're going to do something a little different. Usually on this channel, we deep dive into like crazy sports stories that happened in the past, but what we just saw happen in college football was too crazy to not talk about immediately. Let me know if you like these type of current event type videos because I'll keep doing them. But for real, this might be the most impressive turnaround we have witnessed in any sport. Like, for real. So my wife doesn't really care about sports, but she loves me and lets me talk about it all the time. So when there's a big news story like this or something crazy that happens, I always try to do like a pop culture reference. That way she can like understand the gravity of the situation. Like, for example, I'm a Browns fan, and when Joe Thomas retired, I was devastated. So to help her understand how sad I was and the emotions that I was trying to cope with, I said, imagine if Supernatural had a crossover episode with Vampire Diaries, and somehow they all ended up in Seattle Grace Hospital. And then a bomb exploded inside that hospital and everybody just died. Was that a little dramatic? No, I don't think so. I added a little cherry on top by saying, now imagine after you watched that episode, you walked in on me having an affair with your most hated enemy of all time. But this, I have no words for. Just go back 2 years ago and it seems impossible. Indiana won a title in football? Not a chance in hell. I mean, it's even getting to the point where if you say that in basketball, that seems like such a long shot. But in football, no way. I'm not even being overly dramatic and hyperbolic just for like views and clicks. They started this season as statistically the worst program to ever exist in all of college football. And now they're the only team to go 16-0. I guess technically the 1894 Yale Bulldogs also went 16-0, but if we learned anything from this video and this video, they weren't playing real football back then, and half of the teams that Yale played weren't even actual college teams. So from my perspective, they're the only team to actually go 16-0. So how bad was this program actually? Let's get into it. They were the first team to ever accumulate 700 losses as a program. And like I said earlier, going into this season, statistically, they had the worst win-loss percentage of any team that's ever played college football. But now after this undefeated season, Northwestern holds that title. Congrats, guys. Indiana could go undefeated for the next 11 seasons and they would still be under 500 as a program. During this title run, they won 3 bowl games, which doubled the amount of bowl games they had ever won in their program's history. That's right, before this year, in the 138 years of their existence, they have only won 3 bowl games. UTSA is right down the road from me. Their program started 15 years ago, and they already have 3 bowl game wins. Since they got their start in the 1880s, they have only 38 seasons above 500. And since 1948, have only done that 16 times. In the last 30 years since 1995, they've only been above 500 5 times, and 2 of those times just happened this year and last year. And finally, one last stat for everyone to go, holy shit, these guys really did suck. The last time they had a head coach leave their program with a winning record was Bo McMillan in 1947. So how does the worst program of all time have such an insane turnaround in just 2 years? Well, it all goes back to when they hired this psycho, Curt Cignetti. And I say psycho with all due respect. Did y'all see him stare down Alabama when they tried to get his team to jump off sides on a 4th down? Dude is no bullshit and all ball. And also, clearly a little crazy. What blows my mind about Signetti too is he essentially just kind of came out of nowhere. It's not like he's some new young hotshot kid that's next up. He's 64. I know he worked for Saban at Alabama, but even when he was there, he wasn't like a name being talked about as the next guy up. Then all of a sudden, a few years ago, when JMU makes the move from FCS to FBS, they start making a little bit of noise, and it's the first time you start really hearing this guy's name. And even then, his first shot at a bigger program is at Indiana. Indiana's not a bigger program. Like, if people actually thought he was going to be this good, he wouldn't have gone there. He would have gone to a better, bigger school.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
The only thing that makes sense in my head, he sold his soul to the devil. There's no other explanation for this. The season before he was hired, Indiana won only 3 games. In the 2 seasons since, they have only lost 2. Now let's take that stat, put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it. In his first 2 seasons, he has won 27 games, and in the 6 seasons combined prior, they had only won 28. And they aren't just winning games, they are kicking the shit out of people. Let's put this into perspective. The 2019 LSU Tigers are what many people say is the greatest college football team of all time. They went 15-0, scoring an average of 48.4 points per game, with an average margin of victory of 26.5. Going into the title game, this 2025 Indiana team is 15-0, scoring an average of 42.6 points per game with an average margin of victory of 31.5. That LSU team had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson. This Indiana team has 0 5-star recruits. So how are they doing this? The answer might be the new recipe for college football. Old dudes. The average age of a player on this roster is just over 22 years old. He brought a good chunk of dudes from JMU over with him, so they already knew the system. Then he brought in a bunch of guys who were ready to buy in, work hard, and not make mistakes. In the new world of the transfer portal and NIL, rosters stacked with dudes that are 4 and 5 stars just waiting to get their shot to start isn't going to happen anymore. And I think this team is just the first to the party to show everyone else how it's done. And I don't say that to diminish what they've done in any way. This is just the new reality of what college football is, and I think how things are going to get done. And now that he doesn't own the Mavs and have that team to obsess with, what if Mark Cuban decides this season was just as fun as that title he won with Dirk, and this is his new thing? Indiana could be here for a very long time. Now, I know they got a lot of shit last year that their schedule was soft and that they didn't actually play anybody, and the 2 times they did play somebody good, they got beat, but they totally flipped the script this year. This was not a fluke in some cupcake schedule they were able to just skirt through. They played 6 teams that were in the top 10 the day that they played them, including the number 1 ranked defending national title Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship. Then in the playoffs where you're playing the very best teams, they beat Alabama 38-3, Oregon 56-22, and then Miami 27-21. Let me repeat those last 4 games again just to let that sink in. Ohio State, Alabama, Oregon, and then Miami. That is a gauntlet of blue bloods to get to your first national title in school history. I still can't believe that statement is true. The Indiana Hoosiers are college football champions. If you got in a time machine, went back even 3 years and told somebody that Indiana would beat Alabama by 35 points in the college football playoff, they would think you're freaking crazy. I think this year we also learned that nobody knows anything about college football, so don't take anything anybody says seriously. Ohio State is defending national champs, but a lot of people are saying that this roster is even more talented and this team could be even better than they were last year. They lose 2 games. Texas and Arch Manning are ready to set the world on fire. You're not going to believe how good this team is and how good this quarterback is. Fall completely flat. Penn State is poised to finally break through. James Franklin's finally going to win the big game. Nope, they lose 6 and they fire Franklin. Now, a lot of people think Miami didn't even deserve to make it to the playoff. So what do? They make it all the way to the title game and give Indiana one of their most competitive games they played all year. They were a 10 seed with 2 losses. People said they didn't even deserve to be there and they had a shot to win the title. We know nothing. But back to Indiana. I don't know if this is the greatest college football team ever. You guys can have that argument down in the comments. But I do know this is one of the craziest things that has happened in all of sports, and this is the most impressive turnaround that has ever happened. Thanks for watching this episode of High Fiving Strangers. We will get back to our regularly scheduled programming of history and stuff next week, but let me know if you like these type of episodes. The only downside to doing these reaction videos of stuff that's happening in real time means I have to do them at... It's currently 11:38 p.m. But that's okay. I just love talking ball with the boys and girls. Anyway, subscribe, and comment down below what player, team, or event you want to see me cover next. The best way to support the channel is buying some merch. And as always, get out there and high five some strangers. Oh, I'm so pissed the Browns fucked around and won a couple games at the end of the year. They just totally screwed up the draft. I really want Fernando Mendoza in a Browns uniform next year.